Okay, so we're going to make a graph. And here's my table example. And there's one more feature that I forgot to show you about a table. So in this table right here, I forgot to put the height in centimeter here for my plant. So I'm going to select this and right-click it and hit Insert Row Above. And then I'm just going to select these two, right-click it, and I'm going to say Merge Cells. Because in this box right here, I want this to be height in cm, height in centimeters. Okay, so now I'm ready to copy this table. So Control C if you're on a regular laptop, or Command C if you're on a Mac. And then we're going to go to Sheets. So I'm going to open up Sheets, and it's going to give me a blank sheet. And I am going to paste the table that I just made. And I don't have to select all the cells. I can just right-click and paste. It did kind of squish up some of my data, so I'm going to double-click on the columns so that it auto-adjusts so that I can see all of my information. So I'm actually going to make a graph out of this data. So I've selected it, and I'm going to go over here to my Insert Chart icon. On Insert Chart, it's going to go ahead and assume what kind of chart that I'm wanting. But because it's change over time, change in plant height over time, which is days, that cannot be a bar graph. Instead, it needs to be a line graph. So over here on your chart editor, you can scroll down. They can suggest all they want, but you know that change over time is a line graph. So we're going to insert the line graph. And so that's what we've done there. But when I look at this, my title is horrible, and I don't have my y-axis. So how do I fix that? So under Customize, I'm going to go to Chart and Axis Title. So my chart title is just going to be Plant Experiment. Plant Experiment. That's what I'm going to name my title. Not great, but okay. So then next, instead of the chart title, I'm going to go and I'm going to do my vertical axis title, which is along this side. And my vertical axis title is going to be height in cm, in centimeters. And once I've typed that in, that shows up. On the bottom, the days are just fine. So I'm looking at my scale. I'm looking at my lines. My legend is fine. And so this is great. I've finished. But in Chart Editor, this is where you'll find your chart axis and titles. If you needed to change to your horizontal axis, you could change that as well. And then the title text shows up there. Okay, so now that we're done, how do I get this back into my Google Doc? So I have to go up here, and I can do copy chart. So I'm going to copy it, and hopefully I can just paste it back into my document here by doing Control V. Link to spreadsheet. I do this because if you make a change on the spreadsheet, it'll automatically update in your on your Google Doc. It looks like everything was fine there. If I were going to change something, I would probably center my title, but I have all of the parts of my graph that I need. So when you are making a graph in Sheets, I suggest that you make sure that you're making the correct graph, because it can assume the wrong type of graph. Also, make sure that even though it autofills things for you, that it's relevant to what it is. So if you're going to edit the title, you can edit it there. You can edit this here, but then there's no title over here. So you would have to go to the Customize you'd have to go to Customize, and you would go to Chart and Axis Titles and go to your vertical axis title for it to show something, and then you can type it in. Okay, so that is making a graph and inserting it into a Google Doc.